Hello and welcome. I'm working on getting my headphones on. It's a pretty challenging thing, but all right, I got him. And we are here and we are ready to go. This is Cinephilia. What is Cinephilia? Cinephilia is the love of cinema, or film, or the movies, as the kids like to call them these days. And this radio show is completely dedicated to film. So we'll be talking to directors from around the school, we'll be talking to you all, and we're going to be telling you about everything in the film world, from movie news to reviews of movies, and just, fun opinions and, less fun opinions when things get heated. But we promise things will not get too heated. But this is a talk-based show on film, and we're happy to have you with us today. This is our 0th episode. Since some of our guests weren't able to make it today, we're kind of doing a free-form version of Cinephilia, where we just kind of take you through the summer. We take you through the summer's news, we take you through the summer's movies, and maybe throw in one or two surprises. But next week will be when we officially kick off Cinephilia with our current, with the structure and with the segments and with everything fun in between. But today is going to have a lot of good stuff, a lot of interesting information, and really an episode like we've never done before. So we're happy to have you with us. We have two of our co-hosts with us today, and they will now speak and introduce themselves while I get the next track loaded up.
All right. My name is Paul Snow. I am a film minor currently, School of Cinematic Arts, University of Southern California. Very happy to be here. Good to be back in the studio. Of course, we've forgotten how to do everything, but it's all right. We know how to talk, so that's the main job here.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Bobell, the other guest here right now. I'm a film production major with a game design minor. Yeah, I don't know. It's not too much more to me, just titles and empty phrases. I'm a film student. That means I'm snooty, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good. It's really required that if you're going to be a film major or any sort of cinephile, you must be extremely snooty and high class. Paul, what do you think about being snooty and high class?
I know I'm guilty of it. Let's see. It's definitely a factor in school like this. But
speaking of the high class snootiness, would you like to start us out with some movie news? Is there any, what's the biggest movie news for you all summer, being the aficionado of film news?
Honestly, it's hard to even.
Well, tell us about Snowpiercer.
Okay.
Would that be your number one?
I have a few.
Okay.
I mean, all right, if we want to talk about news and announcements and that kind of thing, probably the biggest news is kind of, what you'd expect, honestly, from the year in total. You'd expect, Comic-Con and the deaths, actually. We had
so
several
many of those
very notable people that have been lost to us for various reasons. And it's not good. It's pretty sad. But
it's really a great way to start off the show. I'm glad that we're starting off on a happy note.
We're not gonna.
Everyone that you love is dead. Life has no meaning.
Wait, my cat's dead? Oh my God.
I'm so sorry that you had to find out this way.
Rob. Oh my. Okay. Well.
All right.
Your parents are really sorry.
Okay.
It wasn't their fault. It was mine.
Oh. All right.
As you were saying.
Well, anyway, yes. I'd say before we get... Well, okay. The most recent news, I guess, is just from this week, would be the death of...
Joan Rivers?
Joan Rivers. A notable comedian. I was never...
I was a big fan of hers on The Celebrity Apprentice.
There you go. So it's one of the kind of person that... Yeah. Personality where, like, if you're not acquainted with... kind of specific stuff, then you may not really be familiar with her work. So I'm not.
Most of her work was typically kind of like feminist empowerment comedy and like drawing attention to social issues, racial issues, and LGBT issues, which I say this only as like a bystander. I never really saw her stuff, really. but I know a lot of people who really did enjoy her, like comedy stand-up and whatnot.
Yeah. So it's it's sad. Let's see.
I can just feel the sorrow just flowing through your voice.
I'm sorry.
I know that this is radio, and with radio you can't see who's talking.
They can't see us?
That's what I was told.
Oh.
I'm not
This is a podcast.
positive.
I did my hair good.
I did too. The gel is just...
I've been in makeup for 6 hours.
No, I know. And that was part of the budget too. And, I regret to say that maybe the budget was not spent correctly in this episode. But yes, for those of you who cannot see right now, Paul has tears just flowing down his face. We're trying to get him under control, but he's a quiet crier.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, as you were saying.
And the other more normal movie news is apparently we're going to get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in Shazam playing Black Adam, I believe.
Indeed.
I don't know anything about this.
This is why we need Troy.
Yes. If we had... They've definitely changed the tone of the show. But
It's true.
The volume or the tone?
a little both.
Just, yeah, I mean, pick your...
really just
We can modify the
punches the
volume with
Correct.
technology.
Yeah.
It's
but
true.
the tone takes a little more work.
Despite our comments, we really do wish Troy was here with us in the studio. He packs a little punch. It's good.
You would get a little more information about all the world of comic book movies, and especially the ones we've had over this
Yeah, well, speaking of comic book
year.
movies, go ahead and really over this show, we're talking about summer. So, I mean, let's start with the movies. Let's just
All
talk
right,
about
let's just reel 'em all.
Let's just kind of go in circles and just talk about each of the movies that we saw and kind of judge them. And, Paul, let's start with comic book movie. Let's go.
Well, comic book movie, I would say one of the best comic book movies I've seen in quite a while was Guardians of the Galaxy, which is now the biggest
Absolutely.
movie of 2014.
It's my favorite
in
movie of the year.
U.S. at least.
The new Star Wars. Or so they say.
Yes.
That's what they're saying.
It was
Chicken to the rail yard.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, it really just... I'd seen in a lot of reviews talking about how well balanced it was in terms of comedy, action, and, character development, all that sort of thing. But it really is. I mean, it's... It's kind of its strength and a little bit of it has some downsides of how balanced and kind of in between it is, Some things were definitely kind of clunky. Honestly, a lot of the things that were weak about it were just kind of the attachments to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're gonna have your main villain that doesn't really do anything and is answering to the big villain that, Thanos, who you're not really going to see do anything for another, 4 years?
Yeah? 4?
4 years before they actually fight him.
Gosh.
And so you get to see him smile. Josh Brolin, who's, does his job.
Handsome fellow.
Yep.
But not when he's a giant blue space titan warrior. But
Yep.
I'm still a fan of Thanos.
no,
I mean-
I think he's an interesting character. But I think the way it was handled is just a very generic, I'm the bad guy in the shadows, orchestrating all the bad things.
With some very overt visual callbacks to Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you've got the
very-
little like hologram on the
Yeah.
wall, and I don't know. But
So anyway, it was, but overall, yeah, it was quite good. I was especially impressed with the world building, honestly.
oh, absolutely.
This is a universe that, I mean, even a lot of Marvel fans have never even heard of this kind of thing. And from what I understand, the characters in these comics have only been in a series for about 3 years on their own.
2008 was
Okay.
when Guardians of the Galaxy, this reboot came out. There's an older Guardians of the Galaxy with a whole different team. But in 2008, this is actually what this movie is based off of, a 2008 series. And honestly, I just like that it's such new content that Marvel's tapping into, and they're totally confident in it.
Oh,
I think
that's
that's so
amazing.
exciting.
Yeah, that's
I had no idea.
definitely very cool. But yeah, I mean, the characters were all a ton of fun. I mean, when People joke about like the Vin Diesel's voice acting, but hey, he brought his game to his 3 words.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, he got specific direction for each example of that line in the movie, and I mean, you can kind of hear it. Like, there's really some effort put into the 3 words that he says over and over.
Yep.
But no, I think it's great.
Yeah, well, okay. Speaking of large creatures who only speak 3 words, Alex McDonald has just joined us in the studio.
I am Alex.
And he's actually standing right now.
I am Alex.
Why is he standing?
Care to explain yourself?
Well, hello. I am Alex.
Point the microphone towards your mouth.
Oh.
I forgot about that.
Okay.
Oh wow,
I
look
just
at
don't-
that. Jungle Land is on now.
Wait, are we supposed to talk into the mic?
I've just been in
I was
the
licking
corner.
it.
I was talking into a record.
I am Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Okay, so I'm Alex. I'm a screenwriting major here at USC, and I have been stuck in screenwriting classes all day, which is why I was late to the show. I apologize. My teacher ran over. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Guardians film. I just came in, that's what you guys were talking about, and I'm super pumped. I just want to point out that James Gunn, the director, stop me if you guys have already talked about this.
You've not.
We have.
Oh, okay. Well, his history was that he worked for Troma, which is a studio known for its B films, such as The Toxic Avenger, Tromeo and Juliet, which is one Gunn directed, and Surf Nazis Must Die. He's great. A couple other of his indie films include Slither and Super, which is another superhero film with Kevin Bacon and that other guy from The Office and Liv Tyler. I forget the Office guy's name, but
I know what you're talking about, though.
yeah. So he's a good filmmaker despite making a lot of B films. I'm so glad he has a break now. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was definitely very cool. And perhaps we might take this opportunity to talk about the special way we were able to enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy
Yes.
in Los Angeles. We had already seen it, but a few of our members here at Cinephilia were able to experience the movie in the way you only can at LA Live.
Or in South Korea.
Or in South Korea. But it's 4DX is what it's called.
Yes.
There's 40 X's. Is that what
Yeah.
I'm getting from this?
They just put in a lot
You've
more.
heard of 3D. You
Yes.
may have enjoyed 3D.
Or not?
Or not. But yes, it's a company that's been around for a few years now, but they've finally built the first theater in the United States that has all these effects packed into it. It's very expensive to build these kinds of theaters because it is
many Bothans died to make
yeah.
these theaters possible.
and it was built in downtown Los Angeles at the Regal and was unveiled a month or two ago, so we were just able to enjoy it here. And if you're in Los Angeles, they are actually showing some movies from earlier in the year. All right, there was Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they're going to be showing Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Gravity. Just
Yeah,
'cause
I think I may go see Gravity in the 4DX after having seen it at the $6 per ticket flagship theater.
Yeah. Which is now a pile of rubble.
That is true. Not that it deserved to be, but
No.
in terms of cinema, maybe it did.
Anyway.
Yeah, Paul and I got to see Gravity in the IMAX.
The IMAX at the Universal City Walk, which was very nice.
Blew our minds. I apologize. Now continue.
Especially the sound system. I saw it in the full-on IMAX and in the kind of dinky film theater across the street from the university. And yeah, besides the obvious, getting immersed in the image and all that sort of thing, which is a big part of the movie, you lose that sound design, which is, I think, what it won the Oscars for. Thank you. And yeah, that was definitely lost on the poor people who were not able to see it in IMAX. Anyway, so all right.
Oh no. Oh, I was just. You said sound systems, and it struck my mind that, and I don't mean to take away from 4DX or IMAX, but there's a new thing that AMC is doing called AMC Prime, which is their answer to IMAX, even though IMAX, well, it's not really their answer to, it's just like, it's a new way to experience films. Yeah, and
What does that mean?
Okay, well, what they do, it's basically a replication of an IMAX theater. The only difference is they put subwoofers underneath every seat.
I dig.
And that's how I saw Guardians, and I was shaking the whole time, and it was great.
Excellent.
That sounds fantastic.
Yes. Before we get into your experiences over the summer, I might just finish off this discussion of 4DX.
Go for it.
So if you've ever been to any kind of theme park and you've seen the 4D movies, it's pretty much like that, except the movie isn't, crap. So
SpongeBob 4D is a cinema masterpiece. Paul Snow.
Right, I'm sorry. So yes, we're able to see Guardians of the Galaxy. So the effects are they've got smoke, they've got lights that flash over like the whole theater whenever like some kind of explosion goes off. Some kind of water spray effects, very light. What have they got? And then the biggest effect are the seats, which are in little blocks of 4. They kind of roll back, forth, and side to side, and they're inside the seats. You get they're kind of bars that can kind of tap you on the back, and air kind of little tubes that puff air on like different sides of the back of your head, basically. So that actually came together pretty well. I mean, I thought it would be much more distracting, but they managed to keep it pretty toned down. The biggest disappointment about it, honestly, was that the seats didn't move up and down. If you've ever been on one of those things where they simulate a roller coaster, where you're inside this little thing on on hydraulics that like goes all around, and you're looking at a screen, it works pretty well because they're able to really like lurch you around a little bit.
I really thought that was going to be like part of that experience.
Yeah, I thought it would be a bigger thing, but the seats more kind of roll where they are. And I understand, like, practical considerations, but yeah, honestly, we just thought it would be, a little more intense. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And as Rob noted, I mean, the smoke effects, when the smoke actually gets all the way into the theater, which can be a problem, it does look really good. When there's smoke on the screen and smoke in the theater, and the light from the scene is lighting the smoke, so the smoke's all the same color.
Wow.
You can really see into it.
And there was about a half a second where I thought I was actually looking into the movie. Like, it's just like I wasn't looking at a screen anymore. Like I actually had been, my eyes had been fooled. My eyes had been fooled into thinking that I was actually just looking straight at Ronan as he turned around right before they shot him with the with Rocket's moon bomb. So it was cool. It's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this moves forward.
I think I may go see Gravity in 4DX. Just
Is it worth to go back and see Guardians for a second time?
I was already going to see Guardians again, no matter whether it's.
I mean, it was definitely worth it for me. I mean, it's interesting to just kind of try this thing out, and I mean, I think people should if they get the chance. It's a little pricey, depending on we were able to get discounts.
They've got a special running right now, though. Right now, the 4DX tickets are only $1 more expensive than the normal tickets, and that's not for the USC deal. As a USC student, you can get a Guardians ticket 4DX for $13.50.
We paid about $13, something like that. Which, for LA prices, anyone listening out there, that's pretty good.
Typical Regal price is like $17.
Well, with 3D, probably. So yes, that was very interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how these kind of things move forward into the future.
Cool.
All right. So Alex,
let's take a break real quick.
Okay.
Oh wait, unless what?
Oh no, I mean I just, like, my experience over the summer was I saw Guardians in the AMC Prime thing where there's a subwoofer under every seat. I mean, it was pretty excellent. There's not much to note. I mean, it's basically IMAX, only your seat shakes. If you guys get a chance, try it out. I also saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that way. Yeah, so that was just my report.
Okay, well, we will resume the other Cinephiles reports after this quick break and quick message for you folks out there. We started with Nova Prime from the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. Now we're gonna move on to Spirit in the Sky from the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. Does that sound good? Everybody happy with that?
I'm seeing a common theme here, but yes, I'm on board.
Well, we could do the Gone with the Wind theme, considering it's the anniversary year.
Or Guardians of the Galaxy is fantastic.
Yeah,
Okay.
Guardians.
We will go with Spirit in the Sky then, and then get you some PSAs, and then take you to Disneyland. We can't guarantee to Disneyland.
We can take the microphone to Disneyland.
We can. Okay, live show from Disneyland when we get back.
Oh my God.
And we are back. As you can hear by the music right now, we are not actually at Disneyland. We are in the Innoventions area at Epcot.
Yes.
We're happy to have you with us. Florida is muggy. It is dark because it's actually 3 hours ahead of us right now. And we are just happy to have you with us again. We'd like to remind you that this is KXSC Radio on the airwaves at 1560 AM, on the web at kxsc.org. And if you're listening on the TuneIn Radio app, we send you a special welcome. And we are a service of the University of Southern California. And once again, we're happy to have you with us. You're coming back to Cinephilia Radio. And it's all about movies here. So we are, again, broadcasting live from Orlando, Florida at the Walt Disney World Parks and Resort, Epcot. The fireworks show is about to start, but before then, we can get in a few more deals. We're a very traveled bunch, but we've got everybody here, and we're all ready to talk some more about movies. So we're talking about summer movies this week. Before we get back to the officially little more rigid schedule, this is a very free-form episode. But yeah, so where were we?
Well, I was going to have Alex talk about some of his experiences this summer, just briefly.
Okay, so this summer I went back home to Kansas City, Missouri, and what a little known fact about Kansas City, Missouri that people don't know is that it is the home of AMC Theaters' worldwide headquarters. So I had an internship there in their film marketing department. So I worked with their film marketing crew on actually marketing some of their summer projects, and specifically I was assigned to help them do conduct some internet research that would update their Bollywood initiative. So expect some upcoming like Bollywood kind of like promotions from them. I can't say I was behind the promotions, but I can say I put in the dirty kind of research work for them.
Excellent.
Yeah. But so as for this summer, we had some good movies, but they're not making money. Not like they used to, which is kind of a shame. All the numbers are down from AMC to Regal to Cinemark. It wasn't good, which really kind of stinks. Guardians, though, was the big kind of surprise where it broke the record for August releases. Like opening releases. It is the highest, highest opening weekend in August, ever, which surprised everyone. God, I don't know, if I'm allowed to actually talk about our estimates or not. I hope none of my bosses are listening, because some of this may be classified
If your bosses are amongst our 15,396 listeners, then I guess...
Take your chances.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking my chances.
I mean, the general professional estimates are public information.
Yeah.
So
AMC estimated that Guardians would do around between 50 and 60 million
opening weekend.
That's
actually below.
We didn't think it would do that well. We were just.
I thought it was going to be a fantastic hit.
I mean,
thought it was going
The
to be quite solid.
the fanboys knew, but we were just like, I mean, like from a like on the other side of the corporate spectrum, we were just like, what is this? Okay, it's Marvel, but like you got a raccoon, you got a tree.
There's no like noticeable like face value.
Yeah, exactly. And it confused everybody apparently. And we did a pin giveaway where, I don't know, maybe some of the viewers were aware of this or not, but if you came to AMC and had a stub membership for opening weekend on opening weekend, you had an AMC Stubs membership and you came to Guardians, you would have gotten one of 5 collectors like pins, kind of like with the Disney pins that you can buy at Disney World. And we were grossly under, like we did not have enough because it did so well. And we were just like, oh no. And then we had a problem of like the crew stealing the pins for themselves. And it was I'm not gonna say it was a mess because it was vastly successful, and apparently these pins have some market value now.
They really do.
Yeah.
I mean, not to get off topic, but there's like actually kind of a weird black market, non-official trading set up online for these Disney pins that like go out of commission, and then they're like hyper rare, and people are weird.
Exactly. Like,
but hey, man, I want a Rocky Raccoon. I can't even talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, or Groot, man, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I actually did get the Groot one.
Ooh.
Yeah, the cool thing about marketing is that we get all the free stuff. So like we had a bunch of just free stuff coming into our desk like every other day. I got several free posters that are now up in my room at home and at the apartment.
Cool.
I got an Expendables 3 bro tank if anybody's ever interested.
Oh yeah,
I thought we were gonna wear that to the gym.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. I got a bro tank this summer.
I'd love a bro tank. Thanks.
We also, I did not pick one up for obvious reasons, but for sex tape. They had an interesting one for us there. They gave us free sex tape underwear.
Wow, that's not appealing at all.
No, no one took them. They were just sitting there, and we were just like, "What do we?"
So sad, in a weird way.
Yeah.
Isn't that Jason Segel and Cameron
Diaz?
Speaking of Cameron Diaz,
two pretty darn tootin' good actors.
The movie
did not last 2 weeks in theaters.
Yeah, the movie bombed.
real quick, you may have noticed that we are now being underscored by the Soarin' theme. We're currently riding the Soarin' ride. Our feet are dangling and our spirits are high. However, we are continuing to hold this radio show because we care about you, the listener, and not the people around us who are displeased with our apparent lack of focus on a ride voiced by Patrick Warburton, of all people. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, as you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, and I was introduced to a lot of Bollywood stuff. I don't know if that anybody listening has any interest in that, but just hit me up. I can talk Bollywood now. Salman and Shah Rukh Khan and Amir Khan. Those guys are my guys.
Well, if you want to hit us up and talk about Bollywood, we do have a Facebook page where you can connect with us. It's at facebook.com/Cinephilia Radio. That's CINEPHILIARADIO. It's really, really complicated. The probably easier thing to do would be to go to the KXSC website and check us out on there, and then find the Facebook page from there. But hey, we're out there. Talk to us about Bollywood. We'd be happy to.
Exactly. Yeah, like the new Bollywood titles that are coming out. Bang Bang. Bang Bang is coming out in October. It's coming out on the celebration of Gandhi's birthday because Bollywood, their release schedule is centered around the holidays. And guys, you will find this hilarious. Bang Bang in this movie is like projected to be a huge Bollywood hit. It's a remake of the Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz film Night and Day.
Right, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so Fox Searchlight is also behind the film, and it's really funny to me that the movie didn't do so well over here in our version, but
yeah,
it's more of a film that I think works for Bollywood because they're all about that crazy kind of love story and secret agents and musical numbers.
So that is a Fox movie?
They're one of the co-producers on it. Or they're with a different...
I would imagine.
See, that's really interesting to me because if memory serves, Fault in Our Stars, the John Green novel adaptation of the summer, which was like the one movie I really wanted to see and I didn't get to see, which was a bummer, but That also, I think, is a Fox movie, and it's also getting a Bollywood adaptation.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Well, that
was announced a few weeks ago.
That one broke the record for rom-com, or not for rom-com, for
Teen?
what? Teen?
Young adult, something like
Romance? It broke a record.
that? It broke some kind of box office thing. But
Yeah, we AMC did another kind of special release for that. If I'm trying to, actually, I think it was this title. I could be wrong if it was this title, but we did like a cool kind of like watch the premiere as it happens. Like we live streamed the premiere in our theaters,
Cool.
and then the film was screened afterwards. It's a kind of a cool event that we tried to replicate with The Giver. I don't know if you guys knew about The Giver event. Not many
No.
people did.
Cinemark
I
also
think
had an event.
Zipcar gave me free tickets to The Giver.
We were giving those away, yeah.
Yeah.
Because no one was buying
that's
them.
such a bummer. The book is fantastic, and Jeff Bridges is amazing.
And it's
Meryl
such-
Streep is amazing.
And it's like required reading in so many schools.
I know.
And,
Like that's 4th grade for like all of America, or some such grade.
it's really surprising,
Same
yeah,
with
that
Ender's
it
Game.
really did not
Yeah.
get off the ground at all.
It's a real disappointment to me, at least.
But anyway, to return to Bollywood,
Right.
Fox actually does have some kind of contract with a
Interesting.
studio out there. And they're basically trying to foster, like, both studios realize that Bollywood is getting, because Bollywood has exploded in overseas, like comparatively to what it had been. These last 2 years have been like they've been making more money than they ever have before because of the overseas market. So they're trying to foster that, and of course we sell a lot of tickets in India. So Fox and another studio are pairing up, and we could see some more crossovers and remakes from both these studios, even on our end. So it's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Cool.
I was going to say to follow up the Guardian surprise release. I believe, the industry-wide estimates were a little higher than AMC's apparently, between 60 and 70 million, I believe, opening weekend domestic.
We updated that as it was going because eventually in marketing we have comp titles to like compare to years before to like try and guess how much it is.
Yeah.
And soon the comp title became Captain America 2 towards
Okay.
the end of towards as the release date came closer, and we were like, oh yeah, this is going to make more money than we thought, but we had no idea.
There you go.
Yeah, we had no
It
idea.
was, and the actual box office estimate, I believe, was about 95 million. Just a hair below Captain America 2, but it had more staying power, so it's now exceeded Captain America 2 in overall.
Yeah.
What else happened with that? There's something I'm forgetting. Anyway. Yeah. It was interesting. Oh, yeah. It has been overall kind of a slump in business-wise, for the industry, and if you look at Hollywood Reporter and a lot of that sort of thing, that's kind of all they're talking about. But as many people admit, this is something that a lot of people were expecting actually, because 2012 and 2013 were absolutely massive. I mean, if you recall, 2012, Amazing Spider-Man was the forgettable one. Then you had Dark Knight Rises and Avengers and Hunger Games. It was insane. Records being broken almost every month, all time. But basically, they're not expecting a similar event. We've talked about this before, but 2015 and 2016 are going to be very, very busy for anyone who is acquainted with Hollywood movies, because we're looking at, 2 Pixar movies, bajillion DreamWorks, at least 5 Marvel and DC movies, official ones, all right, plus all the other ones. I mean, we've had 2... Just this, this year is a slump year, and we've had 2 official Marvel movies and 3 side movies, right, that they've licensed off. One of them is yet to come.
You said 2015.
Yes.
Yeah.
2015 will be
That's
very, very
that's
big.
it's a not so subtle hint that there's going to be a Star Wars movie
Yes.
coming up. Thank you,
There will
Robert.
be, yes, in the next
I'm kind of excited.
few years. In the next few years or so, we're looking at about 2 Marvel movies, 1 DC movie, 1 Star Wars movie, Pixar, and at least 1 DreamWorks movie every year. So it's going to be busy.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, I was reading a Hollywood Reporter article at work that was talking, and it's like, because we were all worried about the slump, but there was this exec the Hollywood Reporter was interviewing. He's like, we can take this year because next year will probably be the biggest one yet. That guy was probably being optimistic, but that's kind of the idea that's circulating.
Well,
All right.
we're looking forward to it.
Yes.
I had some summer thoughts that will come up right after this break, and Ryan as well, if you had any summer thoughts, and we will be
I wasn't
happy to hear
thinking
them.
the whole time.
Okay, well, good.
Sat there.
That's the point of summer. All right, we're going to go to a quick break. We're now going to play Max Steiner's Gone with the Wind theme because it's the 80th anniversary?
Actually, yeah, and it's coming back to theaters in AMC. That was something else that we were working on.
I think it's
Shameless
75,
plug.
I should believe. 75 years.
Yeah, okay, that sounds right. 'Cause it's 9.
I actually have no idea if that's confidential or not.
1939. No, I saw it. They just announced it on.
Oh, okay,
on,
good. I'm
Facebook.
glad I-
Also, what is it? 30 years of Ghostbusters. That's also coming back to theaters.
Uh-huh.
We
And
tried.
15 years of Forrest Gump. No, 20 years
Yeah,
of
that's
I'm
coming-
20. Forrest Gump.
That's
is
coming to
1994.
IMAX.
That's
again.
an IMAX
Yeah.
tonight, actually.
Oh, wow. Jeez, it snuck up
Yeah.
on me.
I had that on my calendar, but some stuff's going on tonight, so. Sorry.
Yep. So, lots of cool stuff.
Well, here's the 75th anniversary of Gone with the Wind. And that was a very short station ID from Ira Glass. What he forgot to mention was that we're on KXSC.org as well and the TuneIn Radio app. And OK Go has joined us in the studio. Is OK Go not joining us today?
Wait, what?
Alex looks scared.
Okay, go.
Real
Yeah.
quick, was that really Ira Glass?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, I love Ira Glass.
That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
His friggin' voice.
You
Oh
can
my God.
tell. You can tell he was a famous person because it was like said into a passing like recorder. Like someone like ran up to him and they were like, "Say it," and he was like, "You're listening to KXSC 1560 AM," and then that's how I could tell that he was a famous person was because it was a very.
Because he was leaning back and forth.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
he
that's
was
his
swaying
band
past the
name.
microphones and went past it like that.
I don't know who we're talking.
Doppler effect.
Ira Glass is a really killer, I'm going to say storyteller, a radio newsman of sorts, and
Okay.
he's like on NPR and PRA, public radio, something, I don't know.
It's a long-running
Public radio.
radio show called This American Life.
Yeah.
This is-
Oh, okay. I've heard of the show.
Love it.
Okay.
Actually, he's got there's a fantastic playlist on YouTube that I want to share with you guys anyway. That I'll also put on the Cinephilia whatever thing, Facebook. But no, it's him talking about storytelling, and it's pretty fantastic. But
I'm also playing OK Goes. Here it goes again.
Excellent.
Nice.
what's going again?
It.
Cool.
I think it's a thinly disguised eBay ad from 2009, but I could be wrong about that.
I think Weird Al already tackled that pretty well.
That's true.
eBay. I remember when the eBay song was the most viewed video on YouTube.
That was a thing.
It had like several million views. And that was the most viewed video on YouTube for like a year. In like
Really?
2006, I want to say.
See,
Playing it right now.
I didn't notice. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know this was a YouTube viral video. I
I don't even know if it was.
didn't know there was a video for it.
No, it was. It was just like
Some like
lyrics. It was a lyric
Really?
video, honestly.
Yeah, it was. I
Really?
remember
And now
watching
we're-
it like 7 times as a kid. I loved it.
the first time I saw him as a viral like performer was White and Nerdy.
Oh, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
even like the
Yeah.
jocks in school were like digging it, and but
That was
beyond that,
that
it
was our
like,
generations.
He was a niche thing for me and my brother growing
Well,
up.
a quick thing for Cinephilia Radio is we dabble in film, but we also dabble in matters of Weird Al.
Weird Al's an exception.
Yeah, Weird
Yeah,
Al is. But I mean, Weird Al is cinema.
He
I mean,
crosses
he's
over,
postmodernism.
definitely. Yeah.
I mean, UHF is a towering
UHF
achievement.
towering. I mean, besides like single-handedly sinking Orion Studios, I think it did great. Rest in peace, Orion Studios. We're really Sorry, but it was totally worth it. I mean, UHF is
fantastic.
I was first exposed to Weird Al. Yeah, maybe this is a story for another time. But hey, it's my turn to talk about my summer, and a lot of us. Oh, speaking of summer, hey, Mandatory Fun.
Right.
Yes, it did.
Great album.
Yeah.
I was listening to that all week. I was watching it. I was anticipating that for a month in advance. And then other people listened to it, and it was his first #1 album, and rightfully so.
Pretty exciting.
But I first started with Weird Al with The Saga Begins. Shout out to the Papa family. Thank you for the Running with Scissors album. Treasured part of my collection. And I believe we actually had a sing-along to The Saga Begins at one point last semester.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, Weird Al's a friend of the show. Feel free to stop by anytime, Alvin. I joke. I kid. It's not his real name.
All right.
It's like Albert,
Well.
I thought, or something.
It's possible. The jury's still out on that one.
Okay.
It changes yearly, much like California weather and drought. Anyway, my favorite movie was Guardians of the Galaxy. I like how we talked about summer movies, but we really just talked about Guardians of the Galaxy.
It really was just Guardians.
And
mean,
the state of the business.
I mean, like, Guardians was the crowning achievement of the summer. Though, personally, the movie I enjoyed most this summer was an independent film called Calvary. It was made in Ireland. It was great. It had Brendan Gleeson in it. It's about a Catholic priest kind of dealing with some faith problems and trying to be the shepherd over his small Irish kind of town. It was great. Flock,
Excellent.
yeah. Godzilla was my close second.
As far as movie reviews go, sometimes we see movies during the week that haven't come out yet. Troy, who's again absent, but will be here next week. Troy and I are in the Malton's Film Symposium, so we've seen 2 movies that haven't been released yet or are released today or next week. That's Space Station 76.
Yeah, I had a friend who saw that. So it was great.
Yeah, it was. I think Troy has a better review of it than I do because my review is mostly based in the characters didn't really strike a good chord with me. I couldn't really relate to them, and so it was kind of a weird movie. And then it was a space movie, so that kind of tricked me into being very excited for it. And then it turned out to be a very funny movie, but not really a space movie by any means. So I'll kind of let Troy talk about that one because I think he has a really good review of it. And then last night we saw God Help the Girl, which is premiering today in select theaters. And that's directed by Stuart, I forgot his last name, but he's the lead singer of Belle and Sebastian, for those who are familiar with Belle and Sebastian. And this is just a quirky British musical comedy with some very dark parts, some very stylistic aspects. A very enjoyable movie with, it's just kind of quirky. There are 2 or 3 people I know who will absolutely love it so much that they adopt it as their own child and feed it until the day that it grows up and goes to college and leaves them. But, a really off-the-wall sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Malton was a nice guy, too.
So.
But those would be the 2 that I've seen in advance. I guess we've got about 5 minutes left in the show, but any other recommendations from the room as far as...
Well...
Did you see Skeleton Twins?
No. We wound up
no.
doing other stuff. We watched... Oh, yeah. We went to class and saw the other thing. Anyway, over the summer... I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about this now, so I won't have to hear the groan next week. But I thoroughly enjoyed Boyhood. And there's a groan.
It was okay.
I haven't seen it. I messed up.
It's not a film for everyone. I will admit, a lot of it depends on what you see in it. I mean, in terms of relating to it. And I just happen to relate to it quite a bit, being from Houston and seeing like the characters play in places that like I played in like when I was a kid. That I'm sorry, but that is a factor.
The doctor's office.
Seeing like
I'm trying to think where you played as a kid, like the railroad tracks, empty fields, tetanus,
with his drunken stepdad.
oh yeah,
piles of like used needles. Just
even
in,
like
the
some of the toys they played with. Like there was a lot of pop culture stuff, and it's just very interesting the way they the whole relationship with time, 'cause that's kind of the entire thing in the movie, and it's the way it was made, and that's kind of the gimmick of the whole thing. But yeah, I thought it worked. I mean, a lot of it was just like really agreeing with like themes of it, and the way it's kind of tries to. It's easy to think of it as kind of a normal coming of the age movie, and that is how it's sold, but the entire form and themes of it is just the complete opposite of your typical like summer emotional drama kind of thing, which I was surprised by. I mean, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't even know that this kind of movie could even work like without the kind of clear-cut thing, but it worked for me. So that's my little speech.
Well, glad to have gotten that off your chest.
And now I'll get to hide and talk about slightly more popular things, like Snowpiercer.
Oh!
Yes.
Ooh.
I have yet to see that, but my dad said it was interesting.
It was fantastic, is what he meant.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll get your full Snowpiercer
right.
review next week.
That's just a tease, but
yeah, that's...
for anyone who's interested, who wants to get ready for the discussion, it is right there on iTunes, just a few dollars to watch, because they're using it's a new kind of distribution strategy.
You're right.
Fun fact, it's also on Pirate Bay.
There you are.
I'm not endorsing anything, but I am saying that it's on Pirate Bay.
Please don't use Pirate Bay. If you use Pirate
Just use
Bay,
Project Free TV.
we are
You'll be
out of a job.
Having
if
heard
that
our
happens.
half-hour discussion on the state of movies, feel free to steal any of the films that
Absolutely.
we have recommended to you.
This will be the last job we ever hold if Pirate Bay takes over the world.
But seriously.
And with that, we're going to wrap up this episode
right.
of Cinephilia Radio.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us for the first episode of the second season. Up next at 7 p.m. is the Treasure Town Sound System with Henry. For the next hour or so, you're going to be listening to some robot. But before we send you off to the robot, we're going to give you a little bit of dueling banjos from Deliverance. Why?
Cool.
Why not? So enjoy those. Try not to get lost. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. That time, again, is 4 p.m. I think. This schedule here actually has it scheduled at 5 p.m. I think that's incorrect.
Well, it's 5 p.m. now, so
I mean,
5 o'clock
it's
somewhere,
5 o'clock somewhere.
always.
Here, to be perfectly specific. So thanks again for listening to KXSC, and we'll see you next week. Take care, drive safe, live life. May the force be with you.